9, which is so tiny.
I think we have 13 subscribers on YouTube.
Got 8 because I try super hard. Yeah,
which
I don't.
Looks like we are live on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Are you good on Facebook chat?
I am literally sharing to our news feed right now. So we're recording, but I'm not live on Facebook yet because I've got a couple more plugins to do. But hello, YouTube. Brian, you wanna start us off so I can finish this Facebook thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think YouTube can just kind of hang out with us while you get that one sorted. We have a nice 0 viewers on YouTube, so I'm not super worried about what they're doing at this time.
Hey, don't hate on the ghost viewers.
The ghost viewers. The viewers are me.
Playback.
The viewers are me through Streamlabs right now. That's our YouTube viewership.
Lauren, it should be. I'm just about to put it up on Facebook, and maybe when I put it up on Facebook, it should tag you and notify you as well.
Sweet.
It's coaching, right, on Facebook, not.
Yes.
Good Spray climbing.
It is. I'm sorry. I set myself up to be confused for eternity, so that's good.
Join us tonight. Come say hello. All right, going live.
All right.
Broadcasting, setting up your meeting. We're live on Facebook.
We are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Gearhouse Happy Hour. It is December 10th, and we are live with our guest, Lauren Abernathy. Chap, how about you go ahead and introduce Lauren for us?
Yeah, so we're here with Lauren Abernathy of Good Spray, coaching, climbing, kind of combo platter. We were just talking about how she set herself up for long-term confusion. Happy to have Lauren on here, though. But Lauren, I won't do you justice. Why don't you talk a little bit about yourself? Tell us what you're working on, what you do.
Sure. So my name's Lauren Abernathy. I am a climbing coach. I run my blog and climbing coaching service all out of basically goodsprayclimbing.com. Let's see. I used to be a corporate project manager up until a few months ago when I quit my job because I hated it, and I started my own company, and now I've been coaching athletes ever since, and it's been a real blast. And I've been a climber for 6 years now. I've done a lot of climbing in Spain and all over the States. So yeah, it's been an exciting ride.
Where in Spain did you go climbing, Lauren? I didn't know that you went.
Yeah, I've climbed in Rerouted, and then I've climbed in Mallorca a couple of times. So.
Oh, I'm jealous. I know Sam and I have looked into going to both those areas a lot. Spain is a really special place. And so Lauren and I met months ago when we did an Alpine Start workshop together, and we woke up at Mountain Standard Time. It was 4 a.m. It was 6 o'clock your time for East Coast time.
Yep.
And Lauren delivered some really amazing tips at the end of all 4 of these sessions about how to train inside. And that's kind of why we brought Lauren on, because people are really stuck right now. There's not a lot of options. It's harder to get outside. The gyms aren't open. And Lauren's really been working hard to virtually and remotely help people get their training routines together. So Lauren made a training routine for me, and we're going to show you guys that video here in a little bit. But Lauren, talk a little bit, just because I know the team doesn't know and the audience doesn't necessarily know. Tell us a little bit about how you designed that, what you were thinking about.
Totally. So yeah, like Chap said, a lot of athletes have been, it's actually happening right now again, where I'm getting messages from people where it's like, I know we just started, but actually my gym's closed. So how do we fix it? And I'm like, it's cool. We're going to keep on trucking. So Chap's session has, it works with his minimal setup. Chap's got a pull-up bar, a hang board, and some weights, nothing huge. So we've got, a nice minimalist what we need. And so we really work to utilize that. And just, I guess very broadly, what I like to do with people who are climbing athletes, for the most part, climbing is a skill sport. So most of your development as a climber is gonna come from climbing, which becomes a little bit unfortunate during these times where we cannot climb in the event that, access to climbing is sort of shut off. But what we do try to do is attack a lot of these general movement patterns of athleticism. So chap's got a hip hinge, pulling, which makes sense for climbing. We do a lot of pulling. Having strong pulling is good. Pushing to kind of balance out all that pulling. A squat, and then we were on some abs as well. So really, we just wanted to cover all of it in some simple but not easy session for him.
Yeah, and Lauren, your workout was really great for me as a rock climber and somebody who loves to go outside rock climbing. But I would say her concept about finding the movements that trigger for the sports that you participate in. If it's skiing, right, you know that you want those lunges to be a big focus because those thighs and your legs are so important. If it's hiking, it's just that constant cardio motion. It's figuring out kind of what these key triggers are for different sports, because I know our audience is a lot more than climbers, but I do know that everybody is aware that Sam and I are climbers first and foremost. So the video we showed definitely capitalized on the campus board that we have and the hangboard that we have. But that said, the basics are really all the same out there. Tell us a little bit about how you've had to create things, because you've created your business all during COVID, right? So you've created a coaching business all in the state of COVID. Are all of your clients remote?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
All of them are
That's
remote.
Amazing. So you're working with a bunch of different clients all over the country in all sorts of different situations. How does somebody go about starting to create a workout, Lauren, or their program for themselves, besides going out and finding a coach? How can they start figuring that out?
Totally. So one thing that's important when you're like starting in on like any new physical regime, I think it's always a good idea to kind of give yourself like a baseline physical assessment. And that can be like, if you wanted to keep it really simple, it's like, how many push-ups can I do? How many pull-ups can I do? Maybe you find out like how fast you run a mile. Maybe you figure out like how many, if you're like, no, I'm super stuck in my house, figure out how many jump squats you can do, or like jump lunges, or like burpees you can do until you can't anymore. Like figure out some baseline of where you're at. And then you want to look at your goals, right? So if you're like, I'm a hiker, I love hiking. Okay, what do we do when we hike a lot? We spend a lot of time moving our legs. If you're going to do steep hikes, like you want to do that, and you might go, I want my legs to be strong and endurant. And then you figure out how to train to do those things. But like you want to have a goal in mind, because I think what happened a lot in quarantine round one, which is fine, because some people are like, I just need to move because I will lose my mind if I don't just like do some random workout. But if you do random stuff, you get random results, essentially.
Right.
So if your goal is to progress at something, like set yourself up a regime and then try to progress it, whether that's doing more reps or adding weight. There's a million different ways to progress. So I don't know.
Sure.
We could have a whole hour-long conversation about how to progress exercises. So I won't give you like the personal trainer textbook on it. But really, like, as weird as that sounds, it's kind of as like simple as it is. Like, pick out exercises and then progress them, and then figure out where you're at in part one, and then like every 3-4 weeks figure out where you're doing it, and also make it make sense for like how much time you have, and be realistic. Like don't decide I'm going to do P90X in quarantine while I'm working from home and like teaching my kids math and doing all this shit. Like if your routine, like I just made one for my sister who like, she has a 11 months old. Sorry. Actually, he'll be 1 on December 20th. But anyways, she's so busy. Like she and her husband are working all the time. And she's like, I can't even get back into a routine, right? So I gave her like a 20-minute thing, and I put it on a whiteboard, and it said like, do this. I'm a really big fan of kettlebells. So she got a couple kettlebells like at the beginning of all this. And I'm like, do this pretty quick kettlebell session. It's going to take you 20 minutes. You can do it in the morning while Nolan is watching. He watches Coco Melon, for anyone in the parenting game. This is the show apparently. So yes.
Cool.
But anyways,
you learn something new every day, Lauren.
So like it's kind of just like, do this 3 times a week, and then put a tally down every time you do it, and have it somewhere where you look at it. Like this is the like level of simplicity where it's like, can we do this simple thing 3 times a week? And can we do it 12 times in the next month? And then you've got like your tallies. So I think that's a really good way to be like manageable about it and organized and keep things simple. Like make it as simple as you need to make it to get yourself to actually do it. Because complicated and never getting done helps nothing.
Yeah. Brian?
I was just gonna add to the Coco Melon tidbit that my nieces are really into Paw Patrol. So if you also have kids out there, definitely, I mean, Paw Patrol's been around. Paw Patrol's old news now. Coco Melon's the big new thing. But yeah, no, Paw Patrol A1, really good stuff.
That's awesome, Brian. Thanks for adding to that. I was also gonna say I want to highlight what Lauren said. Doing random things gets you random results. It's not about the number. It's not about the weight. It's not about anything besides the frequency and the consistency with which you're trying to accomplish these things and being regular. And when we show this video, you'll see, I mean, I was a mess, right? I didn't get all of it done. I did my best to facilitate and modify and aid it to the best of my capacity. However, you know, there's so many things that I couldn't do, and I just want to grow and be better. And so what I love, Lauren, is how that flexibility really shows. I feel like a lot of coaching is scary and intimidating, and it's people, you can no longer do this. You have to do all of these things. Right? It's this kind of fire and brimstone approach to coaching, and it feels like you're coming from the very opposite end, and I really appreciate that. And making it approachable is the way that you're going to find people be successful. Can you share maybe 1 or 2 really cool success stories you've had, obviously with nobody's names, but kind of some success stories that jump to mind?
Yeah. Okay. So one of my favorites, and I won't name this person, but this one was really exciting. So, he was also a corporate project manager that was like critically stressed out and, had like, his meeting schedules are ridiculous. And then, you know, you just get the random meetings at the end of the day where it's like, I was going to go to the gym and train and now I can't. And now like, it's just a mess. So he, you know, had to work really hard to like weekend warrior in general. And before he started working with me, he did a lot. Like he used to be a collegiate swimmer. So he's like used to doing a lot of stuff. So he was like biking, lifting a lot, also climbing 3 or 4 days a week, just spending like, I'm like, how do you even have time to do all of this? Like it blew my mind. So when I started working with him, we like really streamlined everything, and everything we did had a purpose.
Right.
And he was just like, I'm amazed that this is what I should be doing to get better, because I feel like I've spent so much like extra time doing other crap that's not helping. I'm like, yeah. And it's just more fatigue that you're adding onto your body if you're doing things that don't help you get better at climbing too. So it's just more to recover from. So anyways, he, you know, follows the thing, and then about like halfway through our program together, he increases his red point, which was really cool. And then like 4 weeks later, he does it again, sends his first 512, which was like his stretch goal for the season.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I was like, when he like sent me the note that he sent his first 512, I was legitimately like probably more excited than I was when I sent my own. And I was like, I'm having a send beer for you. This is sick. So
that's awesome, Lauren.
That was great. And then, you know, he's like, well, I want to pivot from sport climbing to bouldering. And I have like 5 weeks to prep for a trip to go to like Chattanooga or something. And I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. Like, let's work it out, you know? And I was like, that's kind of a pivot, because originally his plan was to like go climbing in the Red River Gorge. And for all the like non-climbers out there, going from sport climbing to bouldering would be comparable from being like, I want to get a medal in the 800. Just kidding. 50-meter dash now.
Right.
So like, it's just kind of a different style swerve. Anyways, so it worked out pretty well. He sent 3 V6s. No, it was like 4 V6s in the span of like 2 weeks. It was wild. Wow. He had never climbed V6 before either. He just like came out of the gates just crushing it. So I was really psyched.
That's so cool, Lauren. So for everybody that doesn't know, those climbing grades that she's mentioning are really difficult. I want to, before we go over and premiere the video and talk a little bit about the competition, I am seeing that we're having a little bit of struggles finding the Facebook Live feed online. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. I think I can do that. Why don't you guys ask Lauren any workout related questions you have? Give me 3 minutes so I can focus on that. Does anybody have anything to jump in with?
What's your favorite exercise to do with a kettlebell? Because kettlebells are awesome. I've done a lot of kettlebell work as well. So I'd like to pick your brain on that one because there's some good ones.
My favorite one to do is just love a good swing, if I'm being honest. Like, I really like swings. And they're really great. They're great for climbing. I noticed like an improvement in just like my skiing off the couch after I like did a lot of kettlebell swings. So those are a favorite of mine. And then also for climbers, like I love getting climbers to just like overhead press with a kettlebell properly. Like I think it's a lot nicer on your shoulders than like doing a dumbbell press where everyone really likes, can't see what I'm doing, but like kettlebell press kind of tends to follow like a nicer groove for your shoulder than doing like a dumbbell press. It just ends up feeling a lot nicer, and climbers wreck their shoulders enough as it is, so we really don't need to add any more shenanigans with pressing uncomfortably. So yeah.
No, for sure. It's one of those things. I think you have an advantage with being a climber yourself, is that when you're handing out these workouts to people, you understand like the pre-stress that these people's bodies are already going through if they're being active, which is awesome.
Yeah, it always scares me. Like I've seen gyms try to hire like just personal trainers or just people to be like, oh yeah, they're gonna be like the gym trainer, but they're not like climbers at all. And I'm just like, oh, this is a bad idea. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to have someone that doesn't fully understand the demands of rock climbing, training people in strength. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I think there's plenty of climbers that know their way around strength training that would be better suited for that. So if there are any gym owners out there listening to this, heed my warning.
100% makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, we're still trying to figure out what's going on with the Facebook live stream here to make sure that we can get this for everybody and everybody can see it.
It's definitely going. It's definitely on both Lauren and mine's Facebook pages. So everybody's enjoying it. I just feel bad because for whatever reason we can't see anybody's comments if that's happening.
No.
But I know it's out there, and I'm really sorry, you guys. I don't know why because I had it going, you guys, at the very beginning. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this moment and I'm gonna play the video for 5 minutes so that we can see if we can recover while I play the video. So give me 1 minute. I'm gonna do that. Nope, don't do that. That's gonna end the meeting for everybody. That as just bye, everybody's gone. So boom, share screen. Wait, gotta find it. Lauren, why don't you tell everybody what your favorite exercise on my workout is?
Ooh, that's really hard. Okay. I think it's like my favorite. It's like my hate favorite, if that makes sense. But I love the pistol squat variation that I gave you. Pistol squats, once you can do them, look really cool, and they're so hard, and they're so like easy to implement if you don't have tons of. Oh yeah, it's a good face on there on the live, but they're so easy to implement if you don't have a lot of equipment on you. Like I tell a lot of people, I'm like, if you don't have a huge weight, like you can probably do like milk jug as a counterbalance for it too. So it's easy to make happen, and it's really hard. It's a hard exercise. So
all right, I believe everybody this is gonna go very smoothly. I'm gonna hit play over here, and I'm gonna mute myself so I don't accidentally contribute multiple audio. Lauren, I hope you're excited. The form is terrible. So I tried my best to have great form, but it got sloppy towards the end. So bear with me, everybody. Really? Nobody can hear it at all?
No, we did not. We did not have any audio on that.
What? Why? Zoom is supposed to make things so easy, everybody. We have not. We've been having all sorts of technical issues tonight. And Lauren, I apologize for you. I was trying to bring it with the live video premiere, and I thought we had it executed. But let me try one more thing as I do this. Optimize screen sharing clip. One more try. I believe this might work. So somebody give me a thumbs up if it goes when I start it. Lauren did do an amazing job designing my workout. Lauren, you want to kind of give everybody that's here like a short summary of how you designed the workout, what you were kind of thinking about as you did it. For the record, I deliberately asked Lauren to kick my ass for your guys' viewing entertainment. So keep that in mind. I am pretty much off the couch, and she gave me a high quality workout.
Sure thing. So I gave Chap a supplemental strength workout too. So I know that Chap likes to go climbing outside because he has access to that. And something that I think is really awesome for rock climbers to know is that, like, no matter what level you're at, to me, if you have time and like the resources available, spending a little bit of time doing some strength training to supplement your climbing, like, I'm serious, we're not talking about a lot of time. Like, I made it through 512 just fine. Like, I'm primarily a sport climber, just to get some context. I made it through there, like, climbed a lot of 512, doing 1 hour a week of strength work, which of Chap said to kick his ass, so here are your burpees. My favorite way to start people out, funny enough, is actually doing max hangs. Squatting. So I gave Chap a variation of a pistol squat. So that's another, obviously you can think of that, like, you definitely bend your knees and explode up in rock climbing. So pistol squats. I love pistol squats. I think they're great when you have minimal equipment so that you can still be doing like a hard squat, because honestly most people could squat with 2 10-pound dumbbells for eternity. So you turn it into, you get one leg now and things get much spicier. In mind is, like, when you're doing these things, depending on what equipment you have available, if you can figure out a way to hit key movement patterns with what you got, that's great.
You're thinking about that modification, Lauren. I'm supposed to be feeling tired and sore, but I'm trying not to be injured. How do you talk to somebody about trying to find that balance?
Right. So I really, and honestly, I don't even want, so you did ask me to kick your ass, so I delivered. But I think to your point, like, thinking in terms of, like, I want to train these movement patterns is really helpful for people, because like, it takes us out of this, like, I have to do this specific exercise. Like, you could train for climbing without doing pull-ups. Like, as far as determining the intensity, so I really like, there's a time and a place for going like to death. But if we're doing that in every workout all the time, all year long, that's when like injury risk is just like
Come to happy hour, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll be live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Lauren. That's it. That's my horrible video editing job with my Rocky montage. I hope it was at least bearable and enjoyable.
Good job.
That was pretty good. I agree with Chris. Those pistol squats look absolutely deadly. Honestly, I'm glad you were doing them, chap. That looks like no fun at all.
Oh, Lauren goes, chap, try it with weights, and I tried it with weights, and I was like, no, what? I can't even do it without weights. What am I talking about?
Okay. You got to do it. You got to put the weight in front of you to use it as a counterbalance. And funny enough, even though you're like bringing yourself up, including weight, it actually is a lot easier. So if you have it right by your chest, then it's, chap, you didn't watch the videos. I demonstrated in the videos.
I'm sorry. I tried. Sam and I worked hard on trying to get it. I should have watched the videos. Speaking of that, Lauren has a really nice coaching template. So she sent me a really bomber PDF. She sent me really thoughtful instructions, and she did send me videos that I meant to watch. Sam and I felt confident going into it.
I'm blown away. If I had known that there were videos, Lauren, I would have watched them. So at least one of us knew what we were trying to get him to do. Because I was like, that's not right. That's not how you do that.
Yep. Gotta watch the videos.
Okay. I'll maybe watch the videos for next time he does that workout.
Oh man. So yes, I will watch the videos. I will do this workout again. And I was going to take some more videos and continue to show the improvement, because definitely have a lot of work to do on my reps, on my form, on my consistency. But that's what we were talking about, right? Is it's all about finding that space that works well for my world and what I'm doing. So Lauren, I wanted to ask you to share with everybody where they can find you. I want to then, after they do that, I want to announce the competition with you. And then maybe we can spend 5 minutes extra because it's almost 6 o'clock. And if anybody here has any questions, I want to apologize to everybody that may be watching on Facebook that we can't find your questions. I know they're out there. What we'll do though, we'll post this recording on YouTube, on our Facebooks, on our Instagrams. We'll get this recording out there and maybe clip it down a little bit. And then, you know, if people are really excited to talk to Lauren, I am positive we could get her to come back and chat with you all. So if for anybody that we missed questions for, I apologize sincerely. But Lauren, tell us where they can find Good Spray Coaching Climbing.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Good Spray Coaching, and you can find me on the interwebs at www.goodsprayclimbing.com. And those are probably the two best places to find me. And then if you really need to talk to me, there's a way to send me an email on my website, on the contact page. So
yeah. And what I also love about Lauren's website that she hasn't mentioned here at Happy Hour, and I want to make sure she gets to talk about, she has a bunch of really thoughtful, in-depth blogs. They have a lot of good information on building coaching routines, climbing, choosing climbing areas, kind of some of your adventures as well, right, Lauren?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got more than like 80 blog posts or something all about climbing. Sweet. All about it. So
you guys saw Lauren did an amazing job designing a workout routine that worked for me, was flexible with helping me to continue to create it. She is actively looking for customers, clients, correct?
Yes, I'll be launching some really cool stuff in 2021. So if y'all are looking for a coach.
And until 2021, Lauren, tell them what we're doing with the Check Yourself Challenge.
Ooh, all right. So Chap and I are going to send you into the new year right. So we are doing a challenge from now until December 31st. And this challenge both has a reflective component and a physical component. So if you're a rock climber, or even if you're not a rock climber and you just want to reflect on this past year and maybe don't touch the hangboard if you're not a rock climber in the physical assessment, but other than that, have at it. But the way you can sign up, so you'll be able to, we'll send out a link and everything, but you'll just sign up and you'll get an instructions page on how to do it. The reflection questions will be a great way for you to think about what you've done the past year in your climbing, what you're proud of, what you'd like to do better, and help you set thoughtful goals for 2021. And the physical assessment will give you a way to sort of understand where you were at physically as you head into potentially a training cycle to head towards your goals for 2021 as well.
And I think Lauren's right. It's a really awesome, exciting challenge. It's what I'm doing with my workouts that Lauren created and what I'm trying to do to get kind of back in the ring of working out. But it really doesn't have to be just for climbers. Use it for anything, you guys. It's all about that reflection. It doesn't matter what sports, what activities you guys are passionate about. Lauren, you have time to, do any of you guys have one or two questions for Lauren? Anybody got anything left? Yeah, Sam does.
I do. Okay, so I had a quick question. When you're training someone, what do you recommend for them, like as far as duration of a session? Like, I know that you gave Chap, and you obviously like had kind of like in mind, but ideally, how long would it take for him to get through that type of session? And then moving forward, do you add on to that when that starts to feel easy, or how do you navigate that?
Right. So that's a really good question, and adding duration. So basically what we're talking about is like ways to progress a session. So with Chap, I know that Chap, you're a trad climber, right? Like you primarily do you do single pitch trad or do you do multi-pitch as well? Single pitch. Okay. So when we think about it, I'm just going to use Chap as an example because that's what we got going on. But so Chap is a single pitch trad climber, and likely Chap's goals would be to increase the difficulty of the trad climbs he's doing. And when you're on a trad route, you're probably not going to be doing something. Trad routes that you do not on the wall for more than like 15, 20 minutes in a single pitch. Right. So when I'm looking at in the context of a strength session, likely I'd want to keep it about the same duration. So Chap, I imagine that took you 45 minutes to an hour potentially. Right. So we'd leave it at the same duration, but we would increase the intensity. So that would be making sets heavier, making exercises more difficult. Now let's take this and say Chap goes, okay, Lauren, I want to do big wall climbs and I'm going to be on the wall for 15 hours. Then we would want to change it to be something, well, his whole training plan would change because a strength session is really just a broader part of climbing and training and all these things. But let's say you're going to be doing something where your body needs to be firing on mostly all cylinders for hours at a time. Then we're going to want to do something in the realm of adding longer duration. So if that answers your question, but like a client, like typically just to like generally answer, for a lot of my clients are, they're rock climbers and most of their sessions are, I'd say max 2 hours long, just based on the typical schedule of weekend warriors and things. So 1 to 2 hours per session. A lot of my clients 3 to 4 times a week is plenty. And that usually gets the job done.
I really like your answer, Lauren, about, being very related to the exercise that you're doing, right? You want to correlate the intensity and the duration with the intensity and the duration of what and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Schoening?
I don't have any more questions, but I was just monitoring the stream on the other side, but I can wrap up if we're getting there.
I was going to say, I pay attention to the microphones, the little mute microphones. Brian, you flip your switch on your mic, and it's hard for me to tell. So I just wanted to make sure.
I'll raise my hand. You'll know if I got something to say, Chap.
Lauren, this has been super awesome. I think everybody's learned a lot. Really excited for the competition. You mentioned what we're giving away, right? So
the best part.
Yeah, if you join the competition, all you need to do is do the reflection and then take a photo or a quick video of something you're working out and tag both of us on Instagram, Facebook, social media. All you got to do is hit us up on those tags, show us that you're doing it, and we'll get you entered to win a $100 Rerouted gift card and a 30-minute coaching session with Miss Abernathy.
30-minute remote coaching call with moi.
Wow. That's awesome. And just for the record, Chris, Brian, Sam, Carter, you guys are not entered into the competition. You guys don't get to win with Lauren.
Boo.
You got to pay her. Maybe one day Rerouted will hire her and she can be our.
I'm gonna say the Rerouted benefit plan.
Concierge.
That's actually
my
really
title.
I don't know if you're on your website, you have your prices listed, but that probably is something like, sorry. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
The dogs interrupted Samantha's conversation.
They've been losing their mind this whole time. The reason my screen went blank was because the dog was barking to go outside and then she was barking to get back in, and I was like going crazy. No, but I think it'd be really valuable for the people who watch this or are interested in maybe doing it. Like, what does it cost to have you as a coach, and what does that get you?
Great question.
Right. Yeah. So right now I'm sort of in the middle of services are transitioning a little bit because I'm about to be launching a group coaching program with my partner, Caitlin, who is, she is a nutritionist. So we're going to be launching a program like that. So presently not actually taking too many new clients on because we're really working on getting a group program ready there. But if you are interested and you're like, Lauren, I need a coach right now, just hit me up on Instagram and we can talk. So
figure something out. And also, just kind of to wrap up, I wanted to say I think we are going to try and reach out to Caitlin and talk to her and find a way to get her to come on the show. And I think that's another opportunity you guys will have to have Lauren back. She's a dirtbag nutritionist on Instagram.
Yes,
is that correct?
Caitlin is the superhero. So
sweet. Go check her out too. But Lauren, give us one last plug and then Brian will wrap it up.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'm Lauren Abernathy. I'm a climbing coach and personal trainer, and I'd love to get you stronger at climbing. Check me out. Good Spray Coaching on Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Everybody go check out Lauren's Instagram and her website and everything. And thank you very much for coming to our Gearhouse happy hour. This has been